Imagine a vast nation, once hailed as an agricultural giant, now grappling with empty shelves and skyrocketing prices for the simplest staples. What unfolds when a government's iron grip on power begins to slip, starting with something as fundamental as food? This is the story of Russia's deepening food crisis, a tale woven from war, weather, and weary policies, threatening not just dinner tables at home, but ripples across the globe. Picture the humble potato, a cultural icon in Russia, woven into soups, stews, and daily life. Yet in the past year alone, its price has leaped by over 167%, tripling in some regions. Bread, milk, vegetables, they're all caught in the surge, with costs ballooning 2 to 3 times higher than just a few years back. Shelves flicker between abundance and absence, sparking a frenzy of stockpiling that only amplifies the shortages. Families skip meals, stretch portions, and wonder if tomorrow's grocery run will yield anything at all. It's a vicious spiral where scarcity breeds fear, and fear empties the aisles even faster. But why now, in a land rich with wheat fields and fertile soil? The culprits form a perfect storm. Climate shifts have unleashed havoc. Scorching droughts in the south wither crops, while floods drown Siberia's fields. Potato yields have plummeted by 12%, wheat and vegetables trailing behind. Farmers caught in unpredictable seasons plant less, harvest less, and watch their livelihoods evaporate. Less supply naturally drives prices skyward, turning a bad harvest into a national headache even Putin has had to acknowledge. Layer on the war in Ukraine and the sanctions that followed like thunder. Western bans cut off vital seeds, fertilizers, and machinery Russia once imported to supercharge its farms. Yields tumbled, efficiency stalled, and costs soared. Small family farms, already fragile, buckle under unpayable loans, selling out to politically connected giants that consolidate power but rigidify the system. It's not resilience, it's a risky concentration of control. Then there's the green reserves, meant as a safety net for lean times. Instead of releasing them to tame prices, much sits idle, or worse, earmarked for exports to pad the treasury. While this props up Russia's global image, it leaves bread unaffordable at home. Grain becomes leverage, a bargaining chip in foreign deals, rather than a lifeline for citizens. Trust erodes as people question priorities. Power abroad over plates at home? Fuel and transport add fuel to the fire, literally. Diesel prices have climbed over 11%, refineries shudder from parts shortages, and subsidies vanish. Every ruble extra cascades down, inflating everything from farm to fork. Russia's sprawling landscape relies on rails, but they're crumbling, with freight down for 2 years, wagons idle, and military shipments taking precedence. Roads, potholed and unreliable, force costly detours. Ukrainian strikes on infrastructure exacerbate delays, turning logistics into a nightmare. Livestock feels the pinch too. Feed shortages from grain woes force herd culls, slashing milk output and hiking meat prices. Chicken and pork edge toward luxury status. Diets shift to starches, and health suffers. Rising anemia, deficiencies, stunted growth in kids. The ruble's wobbles amplify it all, making imports pricier and turning basics into burdens. Leaked plans hint at printing more money, a desperate bid that could ignite hyperinflation. Last year's money supply swelled by a quarter, inflation nipping at 9%. More rubles chasing scarce goods? That's a recipe for eroded savings and deeper despair. Labor shortages echo wartime woes, with young workers fleeing rural areas for cities or the front lines. Aging farms go understaffed, processing plants hike wages to survive, and every gap hikes costs further. Urban centers like Moscow feel the budget bite, food banks overflow with desperate lines, while rural spots resort to bartering, potatoes for flour, eggs for fuel, isolated and overlooked. Public health deteriorates subtly but surely as nutrient-poor diets take hold. Frustration bubbles into small protests, not just over empty pantries, but the broken promises they represent. State media spins tales of bounty, but reality bites back with bare shelves, breeding mistrust. Echoes of history loom large. The Soviet era's famines and coups, born of rigid planning and misplaced priorities, eroded empires. Today's imbalances risk the same. Hunger as a harbinger of unrest. The government scrambles with price caps on essentials, import boosts from allies like Belarus, China, and Turkey, and pushes for self-sufficiency. Yet producers warn caps could kill profits, birthing black markets where subsidized goods vanish into the shadows, sold at premiums by corrupt hands. This underground economy thrives on survival, peddling unregulated staples, eroding taxes and trust alike. Globally, Russia's role as a grain powerhouse hangs in balance. A good harvest could stabilize exports, easing pressures in Africa, the Middle East, Asia, but declines spell spikes worldwide, echoing past panics. The middle path seems likeliest. Uneven supplies at home, elevated prices abroad, with food weaponized in geopolitics. This isn't abstract economics, it's lives reshaped. Mothers foregoing meals, pensioners choosing between food and meds, farmers staring at rotting silos. Food has sparked Russian revolutions before. Will it again? As the crisis entangles war, sanctions, and trade, its resolution could redefine stability from Siberian fields to distant shores. Stay tuned because in a world this interconnected, no one's plate is truly isolated.